Now, I have been prompted to respond to FNGR's comments on the MisAnthro Pony video. This is not going to be entirely about that, however I will be addressing some of his points later on. So this was the video that gained attention from a few brony analysts I respect, including MisAnthro Pony himself, and it also got me featured on How Not To Brony 10. With all that considered, I would still make the video again, because if I genuinely have something meaningful to contribute to any topic, whether that be something on the show, or something happening in the fandom, then I will do so. There are things I might change in the video with hindsight, sure, but I don't regret making it at all. MisAnthro Pony commented saying that he doesn't like me referring to his redemption as marketing strategy. Well, M.A.P, if you're watching this, I'm afraid it's impossible for me to retract that statement, since it is kind of the whole point of the video. Another comment suggested I was trying to come across as an edgy intellectual, an idea I find rather amusing even if it is rubbish. I make highbrow analytical content, so yes, by definition it is intellectual, that should be obvious. As for being edgy, well, I'm not afraid to say what I think, even if it means going against the consensus, but certainly I never go into a script with the intention of being edgy. So now we come to FNGR's video, and it's interesting how when you get good constructive critique there's often not a lot to say in response. Because in most cases either I don't agree with something, or perhaps I do agree with it, but then it becomes about how much weight that argument carries. Some of his points were actually very well made, in particular the one about how MisAnthro Pony buys into his own hype. That is definitely true to an extent, even though I glossed over it in the original video. I mean, just listen to this.
Everyone was talking about it the next day, and they were not happy about it.
Everyone? As in, everyone? Anyway, the next part of FNGR's video contained a request for me of sorts.
However, Midnight Chimes, I challenge you to cross-comparison between MisAnthro Pony's work and the editor's. While the votes by analysis daily fans do agree with you, I can't help but feel like I'm missing something here.
You want a comparison? Okay, here's a MisAnthro Pony review. The audio is good, his delivery is fine with no hesitations, and he has a voice which is appealing, to some viewers at least.
Even earlier in the episode it's hinted that Spike has started to grow out of his popularity in the Empire as it gets in the way of his visits. He's willing to gamble his reputation because it's not as important to him as it once was.
Look at that, he even made an analytical point about the source material, that's always a bonus. Here's a review by the editor.
Dremnia lokti di fadon, zohun los fin editor.
He makes analytical points too. His audio is clean so you can hear that lovely British accent of his, and he even has a nice cute OC there for you to enjoy. Believe it or not, I never saw M.A.P as subordinate to other analysts in any way, nor did I ever say as much. I also don't think of him as some cold, calculated manipulator. Indeed, I stated in the introduction to the video my belief that MisAnthro Pony does not know what he has done. I mean, how clear do you want it? The fact that he is not self-aware actually made his redemption all the more sincere and therefore more successful. Going back to the quality of M.A.P's content though, the rants were always what he was best at. Sure, those early ones against Biter, Golden Fox and so on were flawed, but they were still entertaining. If he could just take those skills and pick his targets more carefully, he would do very well. That's why I'm pleased to see a shift back in that direction with his most recent material. The Lily Pete roast, which to me is just a glorified version of a rant, is one of very few videos not to be upstaged by Lily's own work. So if MisAnthro Pony keeps this up, who knows, perhaps he could transcend the likes of the editor and become a great content creator instead of just a good analyst. Remember, if you have an artwork or topic or anything pony related you'd like to see on this channel, you should send it to me through YouTube or through my Facebook, which is in the description below. Just be aware that I do reserve the right to be brutally honest. I'm Midnight, and I'll see you next time.
I mean, seriously, who designed this?